So everyone, do you have access to Extreme Sample Database on your server machines? I've actually logged into the server machine 161.6. Okay, so I'll try to place one Extreme Sample Database on that machine, and let's see. I'll create one ODBC connection for that. See if you're able to access. Okay. So I don't have privileges to add a DSN connection, but can you access these files from your local machine? Check it. So this is the path. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna copy this. Oops. I'm unable to paste that on and go to meeting. So just check this path on your local machine if you are able to see this file. Anyone? Log into the server machine and check this path and let me know if you are able to see this file. So can you access this file? Please log into the server and let me know if you are able to access this file. Harita, can you check it? Sharon, can you hear me now? So this is the location. Let me show you the location. Browse through this location. C drive, users folder, public folder, downloads, en, samples, databases. So go to this path and see if you are able to access this file. Okay, thank you. So now, in order to generate any reports, since we don't have privileges on this machine to create DSN connection, you have an option in Crystal Reports wherein you can directly connect to an Access file database without using ODBC connection. So I'm going to create a new report, and now I'll create a new connection. In this new connection, I'll choose the first option, file type connectivity, rather connecting using ODBC because I'm unable to create DSN connection. We don't have privileges to create DSN connection on this machine. So select the first option, and here you have database name. Click on browse. Browse through the path, which is C drive, users, public downloads, en, samples, databases, extreme. So browse through that path and select extreme sample database. Now select the database type as access and finish. As soon as you click on finish, you'll be able to see all the tables what you have in that file. Add the tables and start generating the report. Clear? Any questions? So this is going to generate. So in this manner, you'll be able to connect to the extreme sample database and you'll be able to generate the report. Okay. So that's about sample file. Sharon, are you able to get it? No. Okay, once you log into your machine, go to C drive. Here you have public downloads. So once you go to this path, you have sample database downloaded into this server machine, which is Extreme Sample Database. Here it is. So this is the path. Okay. Now open your Crystal reports and connect to this Extreme Sample Database by using this path, browsing through that path. So I'm going to open Crystal Reports 2011 and I'll create a new connection. And this is the path. So I'm using the first connection, which is Access or Excel database. Expand this, browse to that path, select that file in that location, open it, select database type as Access, finish. It's going to create a connection to that file. I will be able to access the tables. Is that clear now? You're unable to see the Extreme Sample Database, Harita, on your machine? But everyone are able to see that file. So did you follow the same path? You should go to C drive, users, public. Under public you have downloads. Double check the path. Everyone are able to see which server machine that you are connected to. Is that 182.18.161.6? Okay, so go to C drive, users, public, downloads, en samples. Double check the path. Still the same issue? How come? Okay. Just give me your user ID and password. I'll try to log in here. Sure. See, here you have. Clear? Okay. Okay. I've closed it, so we can check it. So we can use that access file, which is a sample file, and you can start generating, working on crystal reports. Yes, the server is 182.18.161.6. Okay, so coming back to Excelsius. So today let's see what are all the different other connections that we have in Excelsius. So yesterday we have seen how to use query as a web service and how to get the data dynamically into Excel sheet of your Excelsius file and refresh your dashboard, which is dynamically retrieving the data from your backend universe. So now we'll discuss about the other type of connections, something like a flash variable and crystal reports data consumer. So what exactly a flash variable and crystal reports data consumer? So let's see. What's this? So I'll try to accommodate around 10 different rows. Highlight with the color, enable the border. This is my data set and these two are the headings. Now so for this chart I'm going to bind the data. So before I bind the data, let me format it here. For this heading I'm gonna choose a specific cell, maybe this one, E1, which is going to be my header. As of now I don't have anything. Anything that you keep, it will be replaced in your chart. And data and columns, I'm gonna choose from here till 10 rows. This is my measure values, and then the list of countries. Click on OK. So now, since I have 10 different rows and I have nulls in my data set, so I can format my report appearance under behavior. you have an option of ignoring nulls. Appearance, I'll just remove the borders of my axis, grid lines, and then I'll apply a template which is aqua. Okay, and I'm gonna highlight my background color and I'll minimize the size and I'll increase a little bit more. Okay. Okay, and now themes. Let me check this. Okay. So this is my dashboard that I have created, and now what I want is this flash file. I'll export this output to an SW file, and I want to make use of that SW file in my Crystal reports, and I want to make my dashboard more interactive with my Crystal reports so that whatever the data that I have in my Crystal reports, I should be able to pass it to my dashboard, and my dashboard should populate with the data what I have in my Crystal. So let's see how we can do it. So for the heading, I have created one flash variable. So here I'll go to the connections. Now here I'm going to use the first one, which is flash variable, and here for this flash variable I'm gonna, so here you have two different options of your variable format. So are you going to pass the information in the form of XML or comma separated value? So XML needs an XML tags to pass any values to your dashboard, but this is very simple comma separated, wherein if you want to pass multiple values, just need to concatenate with comma and pass it to your flash variables. So these flash variables are used to share the content from third-party applications to your dashboard. So flash variables are going to capture the values from third-party application, and wherein if you want to pass multiple values, you can create you can pass them in a comma separated values. So for example, suppose if you give USA, India, UK, and if you pass that to a specific variable, I'm going to add a variable here, but this variable name I'm going to use it as title. And the range, you can select any range that you want. For example, this is 100 rows, the first column. If you choose and if you pass it from your Crystal reports, USA, India, UK, so that information will be inserted in these cells. But here I'm not going to use flash variables to pass multiple values. I just use flash variables only for heading purpose. So I'm going to use this as my target, which is a title. And now, so maybe if you want, I can use these two rows so that you can pass two values to this single title variable. And now click on close. Now this is going to be your main title, and this is going to be your subtitle. So in my chart, I'm going to bind it. I have already binded this cell, which is chart title, and for the subtitle, oops, excuse me. So, and for the subtitle, I'm going to choose the second cell that you have here. Click on OK. So that whatever that you enter in the second cell, it's going to be reflected on your chart as well, like this. So now I'll just clear this sample data. I don't want this sample data, and I'm going to clear this data as well. Now this is your chart what you have, and I've used flash variables to pass main title and subtitle information. And how can I get data from my crystal reports, and how I'm going to insert here. For that you have a new connection called crystal reports data consumer. So here for the flash variables, not only a single variable, you can click on add here and you can have n number of flash variables created, and you can pass the information with CSV format, which is comma separated values, and you can bind, you can specify where should it bind on your Excel sheet when you get any information from outside through flash variable. Now I'm going to use crystal reports data consumer, and this connection is used to interact with crystal reports and your flash file. So this is going to accept the data in the form of a cross tab, wherein you have row headers, column headers, and data. So here the data how you have is not in the form of a cross tab, it's in a two-dimensional vertical table format. So wherein you have all row headers and the data, that's it. So row headers I'm going to choose from here till here. And then column headers, I don't have multiple columns, so I'll directly use data. Data is nothing but your measure value, which is sales information from here to here. Done. I have selected row headers and data, and just click on close. That's it. So now I have created a data consumer connection, and I have provided the range where it has to insert when you pass the information from crystal reports. So now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to name this as crystal data consumer, and I'll save this, which is the design of your Excel sheet. Now I'm going to export the format, output format, into an SWF flash file, and I'm going to name this as now I have successfully created one SWF file on top of my desktop with the name data consumer. So let me sort it based on the type. So this is my SWF file. Let me open this with browser and to see the output. So this is my dashboard. So now this SWF file I'm going to insert into my crystal report. So let's see how I'm going to insert in my crystal report. I'll create a new crystal report, and I'll make a connection, and I'll try to generate the report. And I'm gonna add some fields here. Click on next, and I'll insert a group by on country. Next, some on last year's sales. That's it, and finish. I don't want to show any detail section. I'll suppress the detail section and I'll move up this information here to my group header, and I'll suppress group footer as well. This is my data what I have for each and every country, their related sales information. So now in this design, with the data whatever that I have in my report header, I want to insert one chart. So you already have a bar chart in Crystal Reports, but if you want any flash file, you have an option of inserting a flash file at the top. See here, you have an option insert flash object. Click on that, browse to that SW file where you have it on your desktop, which is data consumer. Click on open, and I'm going to place that flash file on top of my Crystal Reports. Now see the preview. It's going to show you the output along with the Crystal Report data. You'll be able to see this flash file, which is not showing any output, but in order to pass the information, whatever the countries and sales information that you have here, so you just need to right click on this flash file in Crystal Reports and go to Flash Data Expert. So here under Flash Data Expert, you'll be able to see the row titles and the data values. Under row titles, drag and drop your country field, and under sales information, drag and drop last year's sales field. Now click on OK. So now this chart is showing based on the data what you have in your Crystal Reports, but since you have given only 10 rows to be captured, so only first 10 countries will be captured, and it is populating your graph based on that. And apart from that, if you want to enter your own titles and subtitles, for example, I'm going to create a new formula, title. Now here, a static text that you want to pass, which is comma separated. I'm going to type both title and subtitle with comma separated. So sales revenue, comma, by country. So sales revenue is going to be your chart heading, and by country is going to be your subtitle. So this is going to be a title and this is going to be your subtitle. I concatenated both of them using comma, and save and close it. Now that formula I'm going to bind it to a flash variable. So right click on this and go to Flash Data Expert. Other than Excelsius Data Consumer, you also have one more tab, Flash Words. Now you need to add a new variable. So you need to add the variable what you have created in your Excelsius file. What is the name of the variable? Title. And which value that you want to provide. Here you can statically bind the value by typing it, or if you have any formulas in Crystal Reports and if you want to capture that formula output, then point to the formula what you have created, which is title. Now click on OK. Now it shows the data sales revenue by country, whatever that I have entered in my formula. So like that you can control the data of your flash, what are all that needs to be included at runtime. Whenever you use it in Crystal Reports, you can pass that data, not only inserting an independent flash file, you can create a flash file in such a manner, whatever the data that you have in Crystal Reports, you can capture that into your flash file and you will be able to generate your flash file. Any questions? No questions? So apart from that, so this is how we can bind the data to our flash file, and let's see here we have one calculated member cross tab report. So here I'm gonna delete this chart, whatever that we have. And if you observe, here I have a cross tab in this report, and in this cross tab I have all the countries and the sales information. Apart from that, you also have calculated members in your cross tab. So this information I want to bind it to my flash file. So for that, just insert a flash file on your report header, browse, and use the same data consumer, and click on OK, and I'll just place it over here. Now right click on this, go to Flash Data Expert. Now rather dragging and dropping sales and country information, if you want to bind the data of your cross tab, see here you have an option, use existing cross tab. And what are all the cross tabs that you have? Only one cross tab that you have on your report. Click on OK. And whatever the data that you have in cross tab, with that data it is populating the output. And you can also see the calculated member data binded to your graph, which is North America, which is calculated member in your cross tab. So like this, not only inserting a flash file which is independent of your report, you can make a flash file added into your Crystal report which is interactive with your Crystal reports data as well. So I have just given you an example, not a bar graph. Any component that you have in your Excel sheets, if you want it on top of your Crystal, build it in this manner and make it more interactive by passing the information of your Crystal reports into your SWF file. Any questions? That is the use of flash variable and Crystal reports data consumer connection that you have in Excel sheets. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. No questions? Clear? Shall I go ahead and discuss the next topic? I don't see any answers. Okay, after generating the SWF, first you generate an SWF. It doesn't ask any password. SWF is a file which is located in your local machine. The reason when I open this report it is asking me to enter user ID and password is the Crystal report that I opened is published in Business Object Server. That's why it prompted me to enter user ID and password to open it from your server machine. So this cross tab existing Crystal report in your Business Objects Enterprise, I opened it. If you observe this report, I created in my machine. So it doesn't prompt you anything. You just need to create a new report as it is how you did it in other Crystal reports and add this new a flash file and map it to your data consumer connection. Only when if you want to open. Okay. So can you create it now? See here in your start button, this calculated member what you have is actually in your Business Objects Enterprise machine, not on your local machine. If you want to open this report, you need to connect to your Business Objects Server. But this images report, which is located in your local machine, if you click on this, it's not going to prompt you to enter user ID and password. As soon as I click, it directly opens. But if you want to open any report which is published in your Business Object Server, something like this calculated member, it's going to prompt you to log in. I've already logged into my Business Objects Enterprise, that's why it didn't log. How do you know whether you logged into your Business Object Server or not in Crystal Reports? You have one window which is Repository Explorer. So here it shows whether you logged into your server enterprise or not. It shows already you logged in as an administrator. If you log off, this report will be closed because this report is coming from your business objects enterprise. See? Again, if you try to open a report which is published in your business objects enterprise, it prompts you to enter user ID and password, because you need to be authenticated before you open any report from your business object server. As soon as you log in, it opens that report from your BO server. Clear? So this is how we can create dashboards which are more interactive with third-party applications. Any questions, Sharon? Do you want me to unmute? Okay. So that is about Excelsius generating flash file which is more interactive with your crystal reports. So I've just shown you an example how to use a bar chart. You already have bar chart in your crystal reports, no need to use a flash file. But let's say there are some requirements wherein a specific chart which is not available in crystal reports but which is available in your Excelsius file. So then what you can do is, if the customer is requesting any radar chart or waterfall chart, so some charts are not available in crystal reports, and if it is available in your Excelsius, generate that, use the data consumer, generate an SW file, and use that SW file in your crystal reports, pass that information to populate the graph. And you can always observe the difference between the chart created in your crystal reports and the chart created in Excelsius, because whatever the graph that you generate in Excelsius is flashy type, but wherein in crystal reports you don't see that type of flashy output, wherein each and every flash output is pixel perfect picture. So that's about these two connections what we have in Excelsius. And now let's discuss about Live Office. So what exactly a Live Office means? A Live Office is an add-on software to your Microsoft Office tools like Excel Sheet, MS Doc, PowerPoint, and Outlook of your Microsoft Office software. And all these tools, if you want to integrate with your business object server, if you want to integrate Microsoft Office with business object server, we use Live Office. So those who are aware of SAP BW, you have Analysis Edition for Microsoft OLAP, Analysis Edition for OLAP Cubes, wherein you can, from Excel sheet, you can connect to your SAP BW cubes and you can extract the information on top of your Excel sheet. That is to integrate BW with Excel. The same manner, to integrate business objects with MS Office, you have a tool called Live Office. A Live Office is just an add-on software. Once you install that Live Office, you'll be able to see a new tab or a new menu option in your Excel sheet or any other Microsoft Office document or a PPT. So I'm going to open a new Excel file. I'll generate a new sheet. And in this, as soon as you open an Excel sheet, you'll be able to see a new menu option called Live Office if you have installed Live Office on top of your MS Office. and click on this live office. And first time when you after installation, you need to configure your live office connection to your business objects enterprise from your Microsoft Office tools. So go to live office, and here you have application options. Click on that. It's going to open the configuration tab wherein you can provide your server information. See here, this is the options tab. Go to the tab called enterprise, and here provide your server information and user ID and password to connect to your business object server. Once you provide this information, you can click on log on. As soon as you click on log on, it connects to your business objects enterprise. Now click on OK. Now this Excel sheet is connected to your business objects enterprise. So what can you do with this live office connection? Let's see. Using live office connection, you can extract the content of Universe Designer, a query from Universe, like how we did it in Query as a Web Service. Or otherwise, you can extract the content of your Web Intelligence, like how we did it in Webi Rich Client, publishing one of the block as a service. You can also extract the content of your Webi report into your Excel sheet. And apart from that, you can also extract the content of your Crystal report into your Excel sheet. So let's see, first of all, how can we make a connection to our Universe query? So click on this Universe query. Since you have connected to your business objects enterprise, you'll be able to see list of connections or the list of universes that are published in your business objects enterprise. I'm going to use ePassion. Click on next. Now I'm going to generate one query. Let's say finish. So by executing that query, whatever the output that you get it, you'll be able to see it on top of your Excel sheet. And not only extracting that query results it in on top of your Excel sheet level, you can also refresh the report. I'm again refreshing my query, and if you have any prompts at runtime, it's going to show you the prompts. Change the prompts and click on OK. Accordingly, it's going to show you the result set. So here you can refresh like how we refresh in our report, and we can grab the content of your Universe Designer on top of your Excel sheet. And if you want to bind the parameter to any one of the cell, then what you can do is right click here, go to Live Office. Here you have an option called prompt setting. Click on that. If you have any prompts in the selected query, so you have an option of binding it to a cell. I'm going to bind it to a specific cell, which is H2. Click on OK. And click on OK. So this is my prompt drop down. So now what I'll do is, if I change the value, if I select 2001, it refreshes with 2001 value data. If I select 2002, it refreshes with 2002. It always connects to your business objects enterprise and gets the data on top of your Excel sheet. In this manner, you can connect to Universe query, and you can grab the content of your Universe query dynamically at runtime on top of your Excel sheet using Live Office connection. Remember, a query as a web service is not Excel sheet related connection. Query as a web service is used for Excel sheet level connection. But Live Office is specific to Excel sheet level connection, not Excel sheet level connection. Okay? Same thing you can also do it in Microsoft Word document. You can also do it on PPT file, PowerPoint presentation. and you can also get this data on top of your Outlook email. So whenever you send an email, you can grab some content which is real-time content of your warehouse, send it to an email. You can always refresh that content in your Outlook itself. So that's how you can integrate Microsoft products with your business objects enterprise, and the software what we use to integrate these products is LiveOffice. So this is how we can extract the content of your Universe Designer. And let's see, in the next sheet I am going to use Web Intelligence level content. So now I'll try to connect to Webi Report, and once you click on Webi, you'll be able to see the list of reports. Now I want to grab the content of a specific report. Click on Next. You'll be able to see the output of that Webi report, and from this, which content that you want to extract on top of your Excel sheet. For example, I want this block. Click on select that block, next, finish. There you go. With the formatting, whatever that you have in your Webi report, it's going to extract on top of your Excel sheet. I can always refresh this. It's going to ping your Web Intelligence report, and it's going to refresh this specific block, and whatever the output that you get it's going to be displayed here. So like that, you can also drag multiple blocks from the same report if you want. For example, I want this chart. Next, finish. This is the chart coming from Webi report. So that is how you can extract the content. Rather extracting from Universe Designer, you can also extract it from Webi report. And apart from that, you can also connect to Crystal reports. Now, since Web Intelligence is an ad hoc reporting tool which has the content in the form of blocks, you can select a block. But Crystal reports is not in that way, wherein you have detail level data and you don't have any block type values. You have different sections and you have each and every data in detail format. So for example, if I use this Crystal report, so you have an option of switching to fields. So it's going to show you what are all the fields that are available on top of your Crystal reports design. And you can select those fields which you want for your Excel sheet, or otherwise switch to parts. Switch to parts in the sense you'll be able to see the part of your Crystal report, which part that you want. So here I don't have any detail section wherein I have one. See here I have details. So if you want this complete details, you need to capture the information like this. Now whenever you click on next and finish, it's going to grab the content and place it on top of your. But since this is in a single page, you can select it. But if it is on 100 different pages, a report that consists of 100 different pages, it won't be you won't be able to select the content what you want. In that scenario, we switch to fields. Rather selecting the parts of our Crystal report, we'll select the fields or formulas, whatever that we've placed on top of our Crystal report, and we can make use of the output of those fields on top of your Excel sheet. So this is the use of LiveOffice, which is used to integrate between business objects and Microsoft, wherein you can grab the content of your business objects enterprise on top of your Microsoft Office documents. So these are all on-demand refreshing. If you want to grab the scheduled instances, you can still do that. For example, go here, go to LiveOffice, and here you have an option, refresh options, and you can set an option. So I don't have any scheduled instances for this report. If you have it, you can point to a scheduled instance of that specific report and you'll be able to show that output as well. So these are all the additional options what you get it in a LiveOffice when you compare with Query as a Web Service, wherein Query as a Web Service is limited to Universe connection, but LiveOffice can connect to Crystal Reports, Web Intelligence, and Universe Designer. And apart from that, LiveOffice has an option of refreshing on demand. It can also connect to the saved instances of the data of a report. If you have any scheduled instances, you can also connect to that rather refreshing on demand. So this LiveOffice is Microsoft related connection, Excel sheet level connection, but wherein Quas is Excelsius level connection. And always Quas is going to be faster when you compare with LiveOffice. The reason is you need to go through multiple layers. So you need to decide based on the functionality and the content what you want. You need to decide whether you need to go for a LiveOffice or a Quas. And remember, if you are using LiveOffice connection in your Excelsius, you need to provide user ID and password at runtime to log into your LiveOffice connection. And there is no option that you can bind user ID and password to a specific cell like how we did it in Query as a Web Service. So if you don't want your dashboard using LiveOffice connection, if you don't want it to prompt at runtime, you need to configure single sign-on for your LiveOffice. That will be done by Business Objects Administrator. So that is about LiveOffice connection. And I'm going to create a simple, okay, I already have one sheet. I'll show you how can we use this Excel sheet in our Excelsius file. So I'm going to use Universe connection as it is, whatever that I have. This is my Excel sheet connection. And I'm going to save this Excel file. And I'm going to name this as LiveOffice. I'm going to save it as XLS format. Save it. Yes. Now, so this is my Excel file, which is wherein I have just created a model by connecting to my Universe Designer, and I have binded all the prompts, and I have also have the data on top of my Excel sheet. Now what I'll do is I'll open up my Excelsius and I'll create a new dashboard, and for this new dashboard I need to get the content of an Excel sheet. So I have an option of importing an external Excel file into my Excelsius. So this is the one which I created. Click on open and I'll be able to see the content of my Excel sheet. And this Excel sheet now, not only with the data, it also consists of LiveOffice connection. And now what I'll do is here I'll just create one selector, which is a spreadsheet type. And I'll be able to see the output of that spreadsheet by binding the data, whatever that I get it. Display data and whatever the data that I have on my Excel sheet. So this is the data that I'm showing here, and I also have a prompt. So this is the prompt what I have, and if you want to use any drop down list, you can make use of drop down list under selector, combo box. And I can build a list if you want here, 2001, 2002, and 2003. And now I'll bind this data to my combo box. Now after binding the data, you need to choose the destination, and I want insertion type as label, and I want to insert in my destination cell, which is the parametered cell that I have here, Click on OK. Now a default value that I want to select is under behavior. You have an option of selecting a default value in your combo box, which is label 1. And now how can I refresh my connection of my Excel sheet level? So for that, go to the manage connections here. When you go to add, here whatever that you have under new, these are all Excel sheet level connections. But existing connections, what you see here is Excel, XML maps or LiveOffice. These two are Excel sheet level connections. So I'm using the LiveOffice connection in my Excel sheet level. So select that. So it's going to capture that URL. You just need to provide the server name here, big SAP1. And when do you want to refresh? Refresh before components are loaded. And not only that, I want to trigger when the value changes in this target cell, which is a parametered cell. When value changes, and click on close. Now let's see the preview, which is going to refresh your LiveOffice connection to get the content of your Universe Designer. See here, you have to provide user ID and password before you run that report. Now it's going to show you the output. Now let me change the value from 2001 to 2002. It's going to again refresh and it gets the data. You will be able to observe the changes under the sales revenue column. So this is using LiveOffice connection to refresh the content. In this manner, we can make use of LiveOffice in our dashboards. Any questions? No questions? So with this, we are done with Excel sheets, and we can move on and we'll discuss on business objects, admin part, how do we schedule the reports, and how do we create users, how do we apply security. Any questions on this so far what we discussed? So please try to practice, then only you will understand the steps. The only thing here is we didn't use any logic. We have just used all the options what we have in Excel sheets. So pretty straightforward, but the thing what you need to do in Excel sheets is like formatting it with your graphical images. So if you want to format them, so if you are aware of creating some images, what do you call, you have on Photoshop, so you can create your own background images and you can create any type of dashboards that you want. And I was talking about add-ons. So how do we use add-ons, third-party add-ons into our Excel sheets? If your organization is able to purchase third-party add-ons, so you'll be able to, so there are some SAP certified add-ons available in the market. So one of them is Centigon Solutions. So let me open that. Centigon GMaps. I'm going to open that website here. And you'll be able to create a dashboard which uses this GMaps, whatever that you see here, this type of format that you can get it from them. Let me see the products what they have here. These are all the sample reports that they have given. if you want to see some sample output of those dashboards, you can actually click on that view dashboard, which is going to open the dashboard, which is an SWF file. You'll be able to see that how it works. So like Google Maps that you will be able to observe using Gmaps. So this type of an output, you get it only by downloading. So as soon as I select a specific value, it's going to highlight in your Gmap. Still loading. So like that, you have Google Maps. So you can build those Google Maps. You can insert in your Flash file and you can highlight the content. So these are all some samples that they have created using this Centigram solutions. I'm actually looking for a specific one, which is, where do we have Globe? Let me download a trial version here. Oops, it's asking me to enter all this information. So once you fill that information, you'll get one file. I already did it on my machine, and let me show you. Just a second. So this is 2011 dashboard builder, the latest version. And here, if you want to add any third-party add-ons, so you need to go to manage add-ons and you need to add it. So what is it disabled? Health, versions manager. Seems that it got expired. Just give me a second, please. Dashboard. So here, if you observe, I have managed add-ons, and I've actually downloaded X components from the portal, Yahoo Map. So here, as soon as you download, you'll get a file, and that file you need to place it on your machine and browse through that and add it. As soon as you add that file, which is going to be a single file, once you add it under manage add-ons, you'll be able to see X components. So these components are new components which are other than the available components of your Excel sheets. And if you observe, you have X globe. You'll get globe like picture, which is world map, and you can actually highlight the data on top of this globe. So they're going to give you a tutorial like how to use this and what are all the format options that you have for this globe. If you observe, the properties might be somewhat different when you compare with Excel sheet level components, and you can also auto rotate it. So once you mention that auto rotate, I think it got expired. So like this, it's going to rotate when you preview your dashboard. It's going to rotate, and once you have the data country-wise sales information, it's going to show those that output on your map, on your globe, by highlighting that like a pin on a specific location and the values. So these are all third-party components that you have to build your dashboards if you're not satisfied with the existing components, whatever that you have, and if you're looking for third-party things, especially when you deal with maps. You have existing maps in your dashboard like this, which are two-dimensional and which looks like this. For example, if you drag and drop it, this is how a map looks like, wherein you can highlight it. But some people, they don't want maps in this manner. They want it like Google Map 3D, wherein you can also see the street view of that location. So if you want that type of a dashboard to be created, you need to use these third-party add-ons, and you'll be able to see the same output like how you see it in Google Maps. So these third-party add-ons, you can use it for trial version, 30-day trial version, and if you are satisfied, you can purchase those tools and you can make use of that in your Excel sheets. So that is about third-party add-ons, how you add it and how you're going to use it. So this is tree-like view, wherein if you want to show the folders and the subfolders, and you have a scorecard. So these are all different components with additional options that you get it when you compare with Excel sheets. So that is about add-ons that you have, and there are some websites. One is X Component, the other one is Antivia XWIS Solutions, and one more is Centigon Solutions. These are all SAP certified third-party components that you have, and you can purchase those add-ons and you can make use of all those tools, especially XWIS. So XWIS has huge options, wherein some of those options that they have included in the latest version of Excel sheets, which makes you to build your dashboard with independent of your Excel sheet. You can directly bind the content that is coming from your Universe Designer to the component without placing on top of your Excel sheet. So that I'm going to show you when we discuss the 4.0 version. So this is about third-party add-ons. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. With this, we are done with Excel sheets. Any questions? No questions? So try to practice at your end, and if you have any questions, please send me an email. So we'll discuss business objects administration part on Monday. Okay. So have a great weekend. Talk to you on Monday. Bye bye.